Welcome to Rider Nation Station, presented by American Manufacturing Solutions, your total logistics partner, investing in Rider Nation Station and St. Mary's, Ohio, and to our other fine sponsors.
Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to the Doug Frye Show on Rider Nation Station. I'm your host, Joe Hurlbert, alongside head coach Doug Frye. And throughout the course of the next 25 minutes to a half hour, we're going to talk a little bit about the Rough Riders' win over the Van Wert Cougars, their opponent, the Shawnee Indians, this week, and what a home opener. The atmosphere was just absolutely phenomenal. But, Coach, let's take a look around the Western Buckeye League, as we do each and every week. The Western Buckeye League standings look like this. Wapakoneta Redskins are still the only undefeated team overall with a 4-0 mark. They are 3-0 with OG and Kenton in the WBL. Shawnee is 2-1 in the Western Buckeye League, 3-1 overall. And then they're followed in the league by Van Wert, Bath. Of course, the Rough Riders and Salina are all 1-2 in the Western Buckeye League, followed by Elida and Defiance. And those two teams meet this week. So one of those two teams, Elida and Defiance, are going to get their first overall win and their first league win. So somebody's coming out of the cellar this week in the Western Buckeye League. But any surprises last week as far as the games are concerned?
I wouldn't say any surprises. I thought the Shawnee-Wapakoneta game was an awful close ball game till late in the game. Then Keck really took over late in the ball game is what happened. But, we really thought there'd be a lot of balance in the league and games that could go either way, and I continue to believe that.
Mm-hmm. Well, last week in the Western Buckeye League, Ottawa-Glandorf defeated Bath 28-6. Salina defeated Elida in a slugfest 42-38. Kenton defeated Defiance 42-14. Walpock, as Coach Frye mentioned, defeated Shawnee 28-14. And, of course, the Riders win as well, 24-14 over the Van Wert Cougars. This week in the Western Buckeye League, Salina will take on Bath. Defiance and Elida will meet. And, of course, one of those, as I mentioned, will get their first win of the season. Kenton is at Walpock. That's a big game atop the Western Buckeye League because both of those teams are 3-0 in league play. OG takes on Van Wert, and, of course, the Shawnee Indians will visit Rider Country to take on the St. Mary's Rough Riders. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about the festivities and the atmosphere of the first home game at Grand Lake Health System Field at the Rough Rider Athletic Complex when we return right after this.
If you're in the market to buy or sell a home, your job is made easy with Scott Ross Realty. Contact one of their hardworking, well-trained agents today at 419-305-4373 for all of your home buying and selling needs. Scott Ross Realty, wishing all Rough Rider sports good luck.
Coach, the atmosphere for the first home game was just absolutely phenomenal, and I don't know how much you as coaches and the players had a chance to feel that atmosphere and what you were able to see or not see, but I'll tell you what, they talked about 3,500 fans last week. The band's show at halftime was phenomenal. The color guards, the POW was there. The Veteran Vietnam Wall was there. They had 3 class reunions meeting there for the first game. And, of course, the youth football programs, which we talked about last week, were there in attendance. It was just spectacular.
It was an incredible night, and we felt the excitement as coaches and players. Obviously, we were a little busy, so we had other things to take care of. But it'd be something we'll probably look back on as players and coaches a little more after the season, and engross ourselves in being fans. But what happens on Friday nights is really a reflection of our community, and as positive or negative at times as it becomes. We exemplify our community through the band, through the cheerleaders, through our fans, through our youth programs, through our play on the field, through our support. It just really is an example of what we are throughout the entire area.
One of the things that I think we're going to see as things progress at the new stadium, you're going to see new traditions starting to establish. One of the things that I saw on my walk from the school parking lot to the stadium was tailgating. I think there's a perfect atmosphere to set up your tailgating stuff and just enjoy a little pregame activity before the game starts itself.
When I retire, I might have to try that. Right now, I'm a little busy beforehand, but that is a tremendous thought and a tremendous thing for our fans to do. And obviously, there's a lot of glitches that we'll have to work out, and it's going to take a little bit of time. But for the start, it was a fantastic evening and a lot of things to build on.
I think one of the things that we could maybe possibly look forward to in the future is the band. Coming from the high school to the stadium, marching down the path. That builds excitement as they come marching through and toward the stadium. So, that's some things that we can look forward to in the future.
Absolutely. My daughter was in the band, and I enjoyed that. And, everything all together makes for a great evening.
Absolutely. That's kind of a look back on the first game, the inaugural game at the Grand Lake Health Systems field at the Rough Rider Athletic Complex. And, of course, the Rough Riders win, and that's also important. So we're going to come back. We're going to talk a little bit about last week's win over the Van Wert Cougars when we come back right after this. Vogel's Bake Shop, making thousands of fresh donuts daily, open 7 days a week with stores at St. Mary's, Salina, and Walpole. Also now found in Wagner's IGA at New Bremen, Minster, and Fort Laramie. Welcome back to the Doug Frye Show on Rider Nation Station. I'm Joe Hurlbert along with head coach Doug Frye. And coach, the Rough Riders, a big win at home, 24-14. It puts you 2-2 overall, 1-2 in the Western Buckeye League, but a good outing.
It was a very good outing. Obviously, as a coach, we're not where we want to be yet, but we made a lot of strides.
And I think one of the things that I noticed is that Kurt Bupp, have you settled in with him as your starting quarterback?
Yes, we have, and obviously the quarterback position, I can't ever remember a year where we've been through so many changes with the quarterback position. A lot of them just attributed to the fact of youth and injuries and different factors like that. But we continue to improve in that area, and I think we'll be set down the road. We've got a lot of youngsters getting a lot of time right now, but right now Kurt's the man, and he's doing a good job.
Well, Kurt finished the ball game 4 of 6 passing for 52 yards. He had 44 yards on 5 carries, and he also scored a touchdown. Now, this first clip that we're going to see of last Friday night, and I'm going to say this because this is what's going to happen, folks. In about 5 or 10 years from now, we're going to be setting in Guarneri's Pizzeria on Rough Rider Trivia Night, and this is going to be the question. Who was the first Rough Rider in St. Mary's history to score the very first touchdown at the new field? And this will be your answer.
I don't know if that was a great play call or not, but it was certainly a great play. They jammed it up play side, and Ty just made a very athletic play.
Well, the answer will be Ty Howell.
Yes.
And, of course, he did a great job reversing his field, and in all seriousness, but did a great job. And then we'll see an end zone shot of the touchdown. And after he scores, I want you to look back over the scoreboard and watch the fireball that happens. Woof. That was pretty awesome. So a good run by Ty Howell, reversing his field. And that's what you expect out of your seniors, having a nose for the end zone.
And there were some nice cross-field blocks, and it was a team effort, but that's just an athletic play right there by Ty Howell, and that's what we're hoping to see the remainder of the season.
Our next clip shows the first plays of the second half, and St. Mary's received the kickoff to start the second half and marched right on down the field, and this is the first play of the second half. I believe it's Ty Howell sweeping left and picking up 22 yards.
This is the way you want your team to come out of the locker room and come back to play. And I tell our guys all the time, we're playing for our community and our people, and all they're asking is that we play hard and give our best effort.
And then on the very next play, Ethan Wedding sweeps right for some good yardage as well.
Ethan's getting a lot better. He had a great block on that first play on Ty's run, and this is another nice run on the perimeter, and very proud of those guys and the blocking that we're getting.
And then what caps this off now is Ty Howell will take the ball and sweep and take it 49 yards for a Rider score.
Ross Henchen in here, sophomore fullback, and a nice block by Wedding on the edge right there. And look at the guys hustling downfield, getting in front right there. Devin Shannon getting his first start at right tackle, filling in for Jace Norton in front of the play. A lot of guys hustling.
You had to be pleased about, like you said earlier, about how your ball club came out of the second half and just marched it right down the field, and it kind of almost sent a message that you're going to have to stop us to win this ball game.
There was a hunger to win the game,
yeah.
And when there's a hunger to win the game, good things happen.
Now on defense, St. Mary's came in that you were allowing 23.7 points per ball game and averaging and giving up 272 yards of total offense, but the defense played much better Friday. They gave up just 127 yards of total offense on 9 non-scoring drives, and they also forced 2 turnovers, which is a plus.
Those turnovers, we've been trying to get those all season and talking about it as coaches, and it was good to see that, and we need to keep getting those.
Our first clip shows the Van Wert Cougars facing a 4th down and 1, and you'll see Tanner Howell and Blake Knorr just come up and stuff this one big time.
Well, there's Blake, your mainstay, but look at the tackle underneath by Tanner Howell, sophomore linebacker, one of the freshmen we brought up from a year ago, and I really like the excitement.
And, of course, Brandon Paul at linebacker picks off an Owen Treese pass. So this had to be encouraging from him.
Well, a smart young man. There's a junior linebacker, first year starting for us, that sits right underneath that and kind of throws Treese off a little bit, and great play by Brandon.
Our next clip shows Trey Fisher. He's running down Treese from behind and making a sack behind the line of scrimmage. This is a big play. Trey's
an energy guy, and look at the energy right here. Look at the hustle down the line. Good things happen when you hustle, and he certainly does that there.
Pin Van Wert back on the 5-yard line. And then this last clip we have is Carson Fishbach closes in quickly on a pass and makes a big tackle.
Carson's a tough guy. He is a really tough kid. Look at him come up right here, boom, and that's a good football play.
Absolutely. So overall, your ball club played well, got some turnovers. Your defense came alive and limited Van Wert to 127 yards of just total offense. And Van Wert was a ball club that could move the ball offensively. They've got some skilled people, but you had to be pleased with that effort, and also you continue to work young kids into games.
Starting at the end there, I think I looked the other day at our 31 guys that are playing. 11 are seniors right now, so we're seeing a lot of young faces on the field right now. Some that we would rather waited a little longer, but it just works that way at times. And I thought we played with a lot more heart. Mm-hmm. I really did. And there's been moments where we played with heart throughout ball games, but I thought the entire game we did that.
One of the things I think is that there's nothing like getting an opportunity to play on the field on Friday nights under the lights. And when you get young people in, an opportunity to play, you just it builds experience, and so that carries on from the rest of the season now into next year, and if they're a sophomore or even a freshman, carries in for the next year or two.
And the team attitude is so important also. There's Gavin Reinecke, who had been the starting quarterback and moved out and played split. He pitched on the bingo play, we call it, the catch and pitch. And so I got kids that are asking, Coach, how can I contribute and how can I help the team? And that's always a good thing.
Absolutely. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll take a look at this week's opponent, the Shawnee Indians of Jerry Cooper. We'll do that and more when we return right after this.
Whether your goals include college education funding, retirement planning, generating income, or reducing taxes, at Glass Daringer Investment Management, we've got you covered. Stop in and speak with Jeff Daringer or Kevin Glass at 100 West Spring Street today. Glass Daringer Investment Management. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, SIPC.
Welcome back to the Doug Frye Show on Rider Nation Station. Joe Hurlbert alongside Doug Frye. And, Coach, this week the Shawnee Indians visit Grand Lake Health System Field, and they come in with a 3-1 record, 2-1 in the Western Buckeye League. Coach Cooper's in his second year there. They lost last week to Walpock 28-14. That game was tied at halftime 7-7, but they're going to come in a little bit hungry.
Well, first of all, Coach Cooper and I go back a long ways, and we came up through the same coaching tree. We'd come in and out of interviews, either me first or him second, or first and second, whichever one it was, and decide between the two of us if either of us were interested in the job. So we knew each other from a long ways back, and he's an excellent football coach, and you knew good things were going to happen to the program in due time. He's put a good staff together, and they're well coached. In addition to that, I looked at their roster. Of the 37 kids they have, 10 through 12, 21 are seniors right now.
Wow.
21 are seniors. Most of them are 3- and 4-year starters between Coach Frye and Coach Cooper. He's starting 10 seniors on offense and I believe 9 on defense right now. So this was a team due to have a great year, and they're well coached right now. So they're a senior-dominated football team. So obviously we're going to have our hands full.
Well, the only person on the offense that I see that lacks a little bit of experience is their quarterback, John Baker. This is his first year playing football. His first 3 years, he was a member of the golf team. So against Walpock, Baker completed 14 of 21 for 239 yards for the night, and he also threw a 68-yard touchdown pass on the team's final drive. So even though this is his first year at the quarterback position, obviously he's very athletic.
Well, first of all, you look at Shawnee, and the one thing that's always going to jump out to you about Shawnee every year is their athleticism. Mark Triplett, their basketball coach, has done a great job with the basketball kids, and Coach Coopers went there and got some other kids out. But they have a new quarterback. He's surrounded with very good athletes. He's a young man that had played football earlier on, and Jerry was able to get him back out. So, yes, they're trying to limit him a little bit, run the ball a little bit more, and protect him a little bit, but he's obviously got some God-given athletic ability.
Absolutely. Coming into the ball game, though, Will Robertson was the Western Buckeye League's leading rusher, and he was held to just 33 yards on 9 carries and only 18 in the second half. So the Rough Rider defense, this week we'll have to put a lot of pressure on their skilled people and put pressure on their quarterback.
Yes, and we don't stop the run. That's all they're going to be doing all night. So they're not going to worry about the quarterback play. But he can make plays, but obviously we're going to have the ability to shut down the run.
And how does the Indians stack up defensively against the Rough Riders offense?
Well, dominated by seniors with experience. And so that was a real tight game with Wapakoneta a week ago, 14-all, and pretty well Wapakoneta and Keck started running the ball like crazy in the second half on them. So, again, we're going to have to do our job.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll wrap things up on this week's edition of the Doug Frye Show. You're watching the Doug Frye Show on Rider Nation Station.
If you're in the market to buy or sell a home, your job is made easy with Scott Ross Realty. Contact one of their hardworking, well-trained agents today at 419-305-4373 for all of your home buying and selling needs. Scott Ross Realty, wishing all Rough Rider sports good luck.
Coach, as we wrap up another edition of the Doug Frye Show, again, your thoughts on what the Rough Riders will have to do in order to bring away another victory this Friday night?
We're going to have to take it up another notch or two from Van Wert. I wasn't happy with the last drive that Van Wert put together at the end of the ball game, and you can't allow those type of things to happen when you're in games with teams like Shawnee. So it's going to have to be a consistent effort. We're going to have to take care of the ball. I talk about this every week, get some turnovers back and do the little things well. But they are coming to our place. It's the second home game in a row, so we're excited about that, and I think it'll be a whale of a game.
Absolutely. Well, we wish you the best of luck this Friday against the Shawnee Indians. Want to remind everybody that you can watch the 2019-2020 St. Mary's Rough Riders high school football games on TSC TV, channel 702 and 13.1. And I don't know about you, but when they put .1, .2 behind channels, I'm totally lost.
I'm totally lost on most of all those media things. But, hey, I just kind of do my job and continue on. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, we hope you enjoyed this edition of the Doug Frye Show. For Doug Frye, I'm Joe Hurlbert. Watch us next week. And, of course, you can listen to us on Friday night at 6:45 as we bring you the live audio broadcast of the St. Mary's Shawnee game, followed by the video portion of the contest later on TSC. So for Doug Frye, I'm Joe Hurlbert. We'll see you next week. So long, everyone.
This episode of Rider Nation Station has been sponsored by American Manufacturing Solutions, your total logistic partner, investing in the St. Mary's community.
Vogel's Bake Shop, making thousands of fresh donuts daily, open 7 days a week with stores in St. Mary's, Salina, and Walpock. Also now found in Wagner's IGA in New Bremen, Minster, and Fort Laramie. Whether your goals include college education funding, retirement planning, generating income, or reducing taxes, at Glass Derringer Investment Management, we've got you covered. Stop in and speak with Jeff Derringer or Kevin Glass at 100 West Spring Street today. Glass Derringer Investment Management. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, SIPC.